Yo, yo. Gonna be here for probably like 2 hours, and then I'm gonna stream. Like, I'm trying to wake up. I got water. I got water for breakfast and plastic dust. Very good. Very healthy. Super good for you. It's like cigarettes and coffee. You dip the cigarettes in the coffee, you're good to go, man. Alrighty. Alrighty then. Fix this fucking camera. Fix this bloody camera. Is this thing working? Yeah, mornings are not my favorite, but at least I'm not indifferent about them. They're just not the best, but they're not the worst. Some people can't function in the morning. Like, Ivana cannot live going through the morning. She wakes up at like 3 p.m. every day. So, there's that, I guess. I got no coffee, brother. I got 0 coffee. Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, there is no worth in waking up at like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. You just lose your whole day. That's bad. Like, what? Right now it's only 8:30. I think I was up for maybe like an hour so far. And, you know. Bum 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 bum. Exactly. Yep. And if you're not really spending your days doing something productive, it's like, what are you spending your days on? You want to feel like you're actually furthering your life in some way. Because waking up and doing nothing isn't furthering your life in some way. Fucking waking up is pointless at that point. You need to feel that purpose. You know what I mean? Gotta get that drive going. Gotta do something with your time. Lives, yo, buddy. Man, my hands are like dead asleep. I don't know if I can like hack this thing up. It's gonna take a lot longer than it did last night. I've got the old man arthritis fingers. They don't work like they used to. Back in my day, I would scrape 50 big mold lines in half a millisecond. No one does it as big or as better as me. But now I'm old, and I can't do it. Oh. Bum 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 bum. Ooh. Me bloody hands don't work no more. I miss the days of Games Workshop when you could purchase any bit you want from their store. Instead of like, I mean, these days it's now bit sellers, but like Games Workshop would allow you to purchase individual bits. If you wanted 50 Damaz Crons from the Thorgrim kit, you could get 50 Damaz Crons. And they were all like reasonably priced. Like an actual real bit store. That was cool. They could no longer do it now. Well, maybe they could, but like... that would be very interesting if they could do that shit. I feel like they'd lose money, though. Because it's like, you either go to a third-party bit seller, or you just buy the kit again because you're that demonic. And GW's like, yes, more profit. We've put 20 cents into this $80 kit. Money. Big money. We love it, the money. Gotta get this fucking nub off. Get off, dude. Jeez. Oh, fucking hell. This side. Hmm. I've always wondered if you did this with, like... Well, actually, you'd just get toxic fucking cancer fumes, but if you had some sort of heated knife, how easy converting would be. But again, that's, like, not very good. Bad enough you're chopping up plastic bits 24/7, but... melted plastic bits would be, pretty bad. Pretty bad. I mean, maybe outside you could do that, yeah. It's just have fun working outside, I suppose. If you had, like, an actual setup, that'd be cool. A few years ago, I ended up putting together a, travel kit. A really extensive, like, very OCD-driven, beautiful travel kit. And I've used it maybe, like, twice. But, I mean, shit. You take that anywhere, you get the knife out, you know, put a mask on, burn the hell out of plastic. I mean, the environment won't like it, but that's life. Environment don't like much. But I think for the most part, a lot of this could just be done with, like, whittling. Hours of whittling. It's just determination. How long you can do this before your brain gives out. Oh, my stomach still kind of hurts right now. Still feels a little weird, but it's a bit dull. At least I've got water, which is good. I got a grocery shop in a few days. Crazily, right now, I feel like going to the bathroom, which I may just go do for like 2 minutes. 5 minutes. I think I'll actually just go do that, because I don't want to sit here in stomach pain. I will be right back in like 2 to 5 minutes. BRB. God damn. Holy gamoly. Alright. We're good. Feel better at least, goddamn. That was not fun. Alright. Now this is clearly more fun. Not really, but, you know. Okay. Damn, what do I need here? Is this gonna work? This fucking chair is too big. Fucking thing. So big! When Secret Labs sent me one of their chairs as like a promotional thing, I love it, but like they sent me a fucking like XL. Like even fucking the mountain from Game of Thrones wouldn't sit in this chair. You'd have an actual mountain doing so. It's just too big. I should have got the medium. They're not. They're genuinely, it's too big. Like, they're comfy to just shift around it and do whatever the fuck you want, but like, I want to be positioned. Like, you need your elbows situated, and I can't have my elbows situated. It's very frustrating. Ivana's using there's a medium chair, and she's using the medium. The medium is great, because the medium you can plant your elbows and kind of just do whatever you want. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't do that. That's like an Ivana thing. I do not do that. I mean, if you were in a position in this chair, and it works out for you, that's great, but like, with actual posture, it's not good. When you're sitting in the chair all day, you kind of want your body to not shrimp up. Ivana's like, nah, she likes the medium chair. She's got a medium chair of her own. It's, I've been in it, and I prefer that to, like, the XL. Or I think this is a large. I don't even know if it's, like, an XL or, like, their generic large chair, but that was the one thing. Just knowing that your chair will fit you and not be too big. Or too small. Yo, yo. I mean, he looks alright. He looks pretty generic, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, even if they come out with a new mini, I'm more interested in seeing that than, like, his artwork. his artwork, he just doesn't look like anyone, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the only defining feature is his beard. You'd almost second glance him. Just because you're so used to him as High King, but, you know. Looks alright. Hopefully he does get a mini. That'd be very good. I don't know if he'll get a mini, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't even be surprised if they just gave you for Burlock Damonson his just if they gave you his old mini. I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, you know, it'd be a matter of how do you convert this? How do you make him? How do you make young Thorgrim? Because they seem to have made Ungrim, and they made him very well. Yep. Oh, so he wouldn't even... You're right. I mean, I read the article, I just kind of, had to skim back through it. I don't know if they'd give him a new mini, though. It'd be very interesting. He'd be Forge World Resin. Maybe they'll just say, convert one. That's very typical of Games Workshop to do, I wouldn't be surprised. You've got artwork of the guy, but, like, you don't necessarily get a mini. Give me 1 sec. Okay. Well, I mean, it's just a matter of... You've introduced 3 named characters, all of which have had miniatures in the past, and now you're going to remake them while other armies kind of, like, have nothing like that. If you look at greenskins, and then look at dwarves for, like, character releases, you'd be like, damn. Greenskin fans are hurting. They got literally, like, 1 named character, I think. And it's not even anyone important. It's just a guy who's probably going to be dead. As are most greenskins. But it is easier to, basically just create one-off sculpts than it is to kind of create units. because units take a lot more time, a lot more tooling, usually done in plastic, if not in resin, but still a lot more work. Lots of work. Samuel, yo, buddy. It was like phlegm, dude. I'm dying. I got the phlegm, not the phlegm. Ye old phlegm. I was looking through, you may like this, Quinn Plank, because this is like the one unit you keep sometimes talking about. I was looking through the Dwarven Miners kit, and I was trying to look at their pickaxes. Those things are fucking massive. Like, I was trying to put together a couple of different sets of gear for Rangers, and there is physically no way you can put a pickaxe on any of them. It's like absurdly large. Where is this? Oh. It just straight up will not work. And they even have backpacks though, which is cool, but they still don't work. They just genuinely don't work. This thing is so fucking big. It is the equivalent of, like, a great weapon. Like, the great weapon is put to shame by the Dwarven pick. It's utterly massive. You'd think it would be a little bit smaller. But, like... what the fuck? Oh, these you could throw in the mining cart. I mean, I've got a bunch of them here. With the ponies. Not the ponies! Where are the ponies? This is the different half. Not the bloody ponies. This one's a little different from the one in Skull Pass, just because Skull Pass was more of like a caravan. It's like a transport pony with a bunch of goods, and this one's just kind of a mining cart pony. I don't really understand why they make them blind. Maybe to have them more reliable through, like, runic eye coverings? Like, that's kind of rude. But they literally mount, like, a mining laser to this thing. Like, an actual laser. Is it really? That's horrible, dude. There's the mining laser. This could literally just be a war machine, like a weapon. I wonder if this thing has rules in game, like a literal laser. Or like it's more of a drill, to be honest. They call it a mining laser, but like, I mean, you kind of just... I don't think it does anything satanic. But cool that it gets rules, and it's not a unit filler. Mining laser, mining drill, yep. Well, because they also have the Sergeant gets a mining drill, that's why. And the Sergeant's steam drill looks different. Get a wheelbarrow. Another wheelbarrow from, like, cannon kit. The standards are always sick. I mean, the Dwarven Miner kit just had the best bits. Like, period. Look at the standard. Like, the standard is probably better than all the other ones they've put out. Like, completely. And that's just one of them. The other one was this one. It's just way good. Sucks that the miners are going to be in Wave 2, but, like, they definitely have the most elaborate kit, for sure. And then here's the steam drill. So, I believe it was a laser, a mining laser, whatever the fuck that means, but, like, at the same time, they do kind of look like drills. These bodies could actually be used... No, they're just Dwarven miner bodies, never mind. This was always kind of like an exotic kit. They made these guys in Total War chaff. You just run them in and they just perma-die. But I believe before they had like Deep Strike and all these other things, they'd kind of like tunnel up from below. They had blasting charges. Stuff like that. Use them to kind of like go after artillery. Pop them up in the back line. Be like, hey, guess what? We're here. But they were still kind of exotic. Well, dwarves... I mean, dwarf warriors are pretty good. Like, dwarf warriors, I think, are like, what? 8, 9 points, I think, something like that. Like, they're pretty baseline alright. Heavy armor, shield. Decent save, they're just slow-moving. It's just, in Total War, you need chaff units, and dwarf warriors would never be chaff. Like, the working-class dwarf, the miner, be it dwarf warriors, could be miners, right? But instead, they just, are, like, straight from the coal mines. Yeah. 10 out of 10 Mochi picture. Yeah, he's watching over us. He's making sure all the plastic is scraped. Which it is very slowly. I almost thought this was Black Sails. Because it literally sounds like Black Sails, but it's fucking Rings of Power. Same guy, Bear McCreary. You can absolutely hear Black Sails in this. Probably why I like it so much. I haven't in a while, but I did. I won't be painting for a very long time. Until my 2,000 point army is basically ready, then we do test paints. Then we paint. Painting is not something I give a shit about, usually. That's like the dead-end product. I'm not spending thousands of dollars on things to paint them immediately. I'm good. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna take my sweet time. Make sure everything is good, and then paint. I've learned over the years not to jump the gun to things, and painting is one of them. Bum, 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 bum. Because you gotta remember, painting is kind of like the end-all of a product. If you get to the point of painting, and you spend hours, if not weeks, if not months, if not years doing something, and you fuck it up, it's really bad. You just get a little bit pissed off. So, by the time we get close to finishing, I'll probably take up painting again, just to, like, again, get back into it. Be able to work out color schemes and recipes and things that I want to do. Because painting, again, is kind of like, it's the end of everything. There's no point past painting. Painting is it. In terms of the hobby. It's probably the one thing you should think of the most when you're doing anything. But it's good to give it time and kind of reflect on maybe ideas that you have. Or just test paint fun minis. That also works to, you know, get places. Dingo, yo, buddy. What time for Saturday? I haven't yet, no. Ideally in the morning, because it's going to be a long game. We're almost at Saturday, yeah. Most likely in the morning, for sure. I gotta go download the game. It would need to be in the morning because, again, if I stream it late at night, we're only gonna have, like, X amount of time before I fall asleep. I mean, Dead Space is sick. Like, that is one of my favorite games for sure. Weird body horror in space. A lone engineer. Everything is very freaky and mysterious. A fucking deranged cult it's just cool. The gameplay was sick. The graphics were sick. It screamed quality. Very, very quality game. You can tell the people who made it put a lot of effort into it. No, not Duke Nukem, please. Not Duke Nukem. You'll get canceled. Because I'm sculpting it from what it was. I basically completely converted the piece. I'll just show you what it looked like. Like, it didn't... It looks like this, but it was, Here. This is what it looked like. So now this is what it looks like. It's just a backpack now. Which, instead of the shovel... You know, the shovel is pretty cool. I don't need the grenade. Like, this is not 40k. But the idea would be to, There you go, see? And then you add a bunch of other bits, and you're good. That's the idea. Gengar, yo, buddy. The beauty of bits when you don't need everything on a bit. I've thought about doing terrain, like dwarven terrain. It's just it doesn't really hold any weight right now in my hobbying, just because it won't further me in my army. If I had a 2,000 point army ready to go, I would absolutely try. I think a lot of people, if you grew up in, like, I don't know, the 90s or early 2000s Warhammer, you'd always be making terrain, like foam terrain and shit like that. These days, everything is kind of, like, easier with 3D printing, and you can have things look amazing with a lot less effort, which is great, but there still is something to be said about handmade terrain if you want to go that route. It's just a lot more work. I always wanted to get into Warhammer, but I don't know where to start. Any tips? You want to do, like, hobbying? Like Warhammer actual miniatures? Painting figures? Well, that would be, yeah, the hobby. So, I mean, realistically, you'd probably look around for, like, what looks appealing. you're talking about straight up Warhammer and not like D&D or other miniature games, you like Necrons. Well, there you go. If you want to paint Necrons, what I suggest you do is go buy some Necrons, go buy a few paints, and just start by watching a YouTube video. So you can kind of, you could put on a video, gauge what you need realistically, right? Like what paints would look good or what scheme you want to go for. And then just kind of go into a Games Workshop, go into a hobby store, go online, and just go from there. It will always be cheaper going to a hobby store because they have deals with Games Workshop to sell their product at a discount. Yeah. That was always the question at hand, because the local Games Workshop store, there's a local Games Workshop, and I'm not even kidding, less than a 5-minute walk down the street is a gaming store that sells all of their product for discounted prices. It's such a weird place to be. It's like, oh, do I go to the Games Workshop and spend more money, or do I go 5 minutes down the road and spend less money? But either way, I mean, I've bought from both. I like the manager at the GW, and the people at the other store are awesome. They're very nice. Yeah. I mean, if you're being, you know, money savvy, you'd never buy it at GW. That's objectively the truth. If you support the GW and you like people who work there, then that's when you'd buy from them. But if you're strictly down to the dollar, why would you spend full price? Objectively, like, logically, why would you? But then again, I'm gonna make my pre-orders this coming Saturday. Oh shit, the Dwarven pre-orders are this Saturday. I think I'm gonna call my GW and just ask them, because I really want the releases day one. No matter what, I want I'm gonna be at the GW before it even opens to purchase everything, or my order's already there. I'm gonna ask them what they're gonna get in. This is probably the first time I've ever been hyped for a release, I'm not gonna lie. Last time I was hyped for a fucking, like, Warhammer release was maybe the initial thought of the Leagues of Votann, and then that kind of went out the window. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, there you go. I mean, if you want to invest in that and their culture and, you know, support them, makes sense. But again, if you're into it for the dollar, which no one can blame you for. No one's going to say, oh, you're so cheap you can't afford GW, so you get the discounted stuff. No one's going to say, like, oh, you don't want to support Games Workshop because of this or that. Bro, the economy is so fucked. Warhammer is so expensive. If you want to save your money and, like, purchase Warhammer cheaper from a legitimate retailer who also works with Games Workshop, that's extremely valid. So, you cannot be blamed for that. Okay, let me see if I can just smooth this shit out. Fucking mochi hairs on me. Mochi's always with me. His hair is everywhere. Winter, yo, buddy. Alrighty. So far, not too shabby. Good blank slate for a backpack. I think when I was doing this, I would cut little charms out of certain pieces and put one here as like a clamp, whatever you want to call it, to hold the backpack down. Ay, ay, ay. Ew. The weirdest thing to me, Rangers can take handguns. The sergeant, the old Deadeye, can take fucking pistols, which I don't think that's wise. I think logically you probably wouldn't want to take a handgun if you're a Ranger. But then again, maybe at that point you just wouldn't give a fuck. It's like a last-ditch effort to kind of kill something. No, they're model kits. Fucking dwarven handgun. Oops. Looks more of like an adventurer's Mordheim thing. Man, I wish I had more room here. Holy moly. There's no bloody room. I've got no fucking room anywhere. Can I do anything with mugs? Maybe. Maybe. Helps you laugh. And I'm just making Warhammer. This is just like Resident Sleeper Simulator. I'm just scraping Warhammer. Resident Sleeper Simulator? You're just scraping fucking plastics. Microplastics. Good for the spinal cord. Bum, 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 bum. You know, one of the weirdest things when working on Warhammer conversions is actually looking up real-life things in reference. How to throw a throwing axe. How a hiking backpack works. Where weapons are stored. A lot of these things have very real-world uses, obviously, that are just applied to miniatures. How to store a crossbow, for God's sake. Interesting. Okay. On us. Okay, let's put some of this shit on it. Let's put some plastic on plastic. Yeah, one of the best tools for doing Warhammer is this shit, which you can make yourself. Because instead of using filler or anything like that, if you accidentally make mistakes when you're chopping up pieces, you can kind of just do this. And it takes 3 seconds to do. And then from that, your problems are solved. You just scrape it down, thankfully. So, that's going to dry, and this is basically almost done. This one. I gotta chop out the back. Good. Tenacious D is over. Well, shouldn't have made jokes about someone dying. Felicity, yo, buddy. Have you watched One Piece? Fuck no. I wonder if I could save these side pouches? Well, I can't now. They're welding on, but, you know. No, there's no way to save these side pouches. Nah, not a disband. It's basically, you know, like Riskaya, because of the war in Ukraine. People thought Riskaya was, like, supporting Russia or whatever, and all this stuff happened, and blah, blah, blah. And they were getting, like, death threats. So they kind of, like, disbanded for the time being while things cooled down. I mean, Jack Black doesn't even like Trump. So... just a wise move to not say anything. Yeah, like, I don't think he was entirely against the idea of what his buddy said mentally in his brain, but, like, I don't think you make statements like that. You're a band, you're there to make music and, you know, have a good time, not kind of say, like, oh my god, I wish Trump was actually shot in the head and died on stage. It's like, that's something Gwar would say, and Gwar would get away with it, because Gwar's been killing presidents on stage for fucking centuries. Maybe not centuries, but, you know. Tenacious D got thrown out of, they got, like, really, like, kind of fucked over. I don't know any of that now. Yeah, I don't think you really go to that point. Like, people say what they want to say in their head, or they speak their mind on Twitter, but, like, yeah, that's, like, a no-go zone. You may believe in something, but, like, I don't think, yeah, don't say that stuff. I gotta add stuff to this backpack. Why is it 2 backpacks on top of each other, though? I don't get it. What? I don't really get that. Is that real? Is this even gonna, what if I don't do this? Hmm. I think I chopped this one a bit too much, but it's fine. Maybe not. Actually, I think that works perfectly. What about this one? Hmm. Bum 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 ba da ba dum bum bum bum. Dude, Santiano's making a new album. God bless. The goats. The old goats. Yeah, they're great. Bum 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 ba dum. Bum 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 bum. I scraped this one a bit too far, but it could still be used. Just gotta make it look a bit different. Weather's bad. I mean, here it seems pretty okay. Then again, I went outside like yesterday, so maybe things have changed since yesterday. Blame global warming. All of these Games Workshop factories making us plastic. Blame Games Workshop. Bum bum bum. These bits are so fucking weird to put on anything because they just don't fit. Like, these little, what would you call them? Little quivers, like, where little crossbow bolts sit. The idea initially was to put them kind of, like, around their waist area. Because, like, traditionally you'd have your little bolt sitting there and you'd fucking pull down and take them out. But they don't even fit. Like, the bits are so weird with these kits. So strange. Like, you want to make them look thematic, but at the same time, it needs to look like it actually belongs. And for it to belong, it's kind of just this weird space where you can't really make it work. Anyways. Yeah, you could slightly crooked, put them wherever, but they still kind of look off-centered. They just look odd. They're very big. Like, ideally... Actually, I mean, that won't work over there. Something like this makes sense, but the arm... Like, depending on what fucking pose you're doing, like, this guy's supposed to be shooting his crossbow and then throwing his throwing axe, so, like... There's just nowhere to put it. You could put it here. You just have to kind of, like, chop that down and place it really close to his body. I mean, traditionally, though, they would sit under your arm. Under, like, you'd shoot it, and then you pull it out, right? Like, it'd be your right arm, I believe. You shoot, hold the crossbow this way, and then you're able to, like, yoink the thing back, or they use, like, fucking, what was it called? Goat's hoof or some shit. It's like a contraption you'd put on the crossbow and then you'd wheel it back in. There's some that you kind of like stepped on. Just practicality in this hobby is yeah, little odd. Little bit odd. I'm enjoying the plastic scrape simulator. Well, that's what most of this hobby is. If you're trying to make things, that's definitely what it is. Especially if you want to do conversions, which is what we're doing. It's just a very tedious process of doing a bunch of filing and scraping and sanding and, you know. No one's forcing me to do it, I just want to do it. I just realized this isn't two backpacks on top of each other. I'm just brain dead. And this is like a part of the backpack. I thought it was literally two pieces at one point. That doesn't make sense though. Normal backpacks also have this. It's literally just a smaller pocket. Oh, the more you know. I wonder then. You can't fix that. Jesus. Not very good. Ro is a hazard to those around him. Backpacks. Trying to make dwarven backpacks. Dwarven backpacks. Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby, that's good. Cool. So, we need to get this satchel, this small one, onto this backpack. 2 of them. And we're golden. Kinda don't want to break the other one, if I can save it. There you go. Yeah, disloyal. Peace, buddy. Good luck. Peace, sir. Jesus. Jesus. Let me just take a look at this. Hang on. Hiking backpacks. Oh, hiking backpacks actually look like whatever the fuck this is. Whatever I made this as, this actually kind of looks that way. Yo, yo. Dora the Explorer backpack. Dora the Explorer backpack. I mean, yeah, it looks like a normal thing. Looks normal. Well, I'm going offline here soon, but yes, we are just scraping, literally, just scraping plastic. We need to, get some things done. We gotta go try that new League game mode, I gotta go play Ranked, I gotta go fight Tristana every game, I gotta go have fun. It's fun. Oof. No, I didn't play it yet. Not yet. Oh yeah, well we'll see. I haven't played it yet, I have no idea. Sounds nice, man. The new game mode slaps. I hope it's good. I just want to try Alawi, but apparently you got to unlock her. No shit, there would be progression. No shit, there would be progression. Yeah, I could, but we'll see how it goes. I'm probably gonna get out of here in about half hour, so. It looks like it sticks off too far. Fucking Christ. Christ. Did you get rid of the blue glue? It's not even glue, it's just like tack. It's like sticky substance. You just kind of like take it off. You've never used blue tack? White tack or anything? It just comes off, thankfully. Yeah, I don't know if this backpack looks any good. I don't think it's good. But it's cool to look at. It's an option. Make them look a bit different, maybe. Coming through. Nah, it looks a bit stupid. I think maybe... Nah, it's even stupider. Maybe just having... Could do rope hanging down off the side. Rope, and then maybe, like... a hand weapon? Throwing axes? Let me see. Coming through. Yeah, I'm just... Yeah, exactly. It's just more of like a placement, test fit, visually... Like, seeing seeing things in 3D in front of your face is kind of the best way to gauge what it will look like, obviously. So, like, tacking together pieces that you think may look cool and kind of going from there. You know, you can decide, like, oh, that looks good, oh, that looks bad, and, you know, whatever it may be. This may just be better with, like, crossbow bolts. Just as a test piece. $5D. Real space. Real space test fitting. Just to see. The backpack just looks very... I don't like the shape of it. Like, it actually looks like a legitimate hiking backpack, but there's something about it that's just missing. Something about the sides that I just don't like. Like, there would be no reason to tack this here. It doesn't really make sense, but it could just be a random thing. Maybe once I get my sleeping bags in as bits, I can kind of work with those, because the ones I have now aren't good. They're all flat. They don't really weigh properly. Maybe we just wait for the bit, and when it arrives, we can do something with it. Well, that definitely looks better, though. Just not these bits together. This one doesn't really work. It's too flat. I don't even think it's like a sleeping bag anyways. It's like some weird saddlebag thing. But it does it. Oh, that looks way better. Okay, I can live with that. Just, again, waiting for this proper bit to come in, because I'm not going to use this. And then maybe this goes, like, right here. And then the throwing axe arm is up in the air. Conceptually, it looks really good. If I had all the right pieces and everything, I like this a lot more. This bag doesn't really do it for me. If it's alone, it just looks really weird. But when you add the top bit, it looks way better. Like, the silhouette's good. You can see it behind his head. It's really nice. Maybe hanging his cloak from here. Just as a, Oh, you know what? Again, rope bits. I could maybe have rope bits hanging. This is not rope bits or anything, but... It's like a giant ball sack, a tri-sack. Men of the Empire and their tri-sacks. There's so many bits out there, but, like, finding the right ones that work for you is kind of, not the best sometimes. Ooh, I could hang a tankard. Spinning way over its threshold, and it's almost... I mean, you're fucked if that happens. Don't do that, dude. That's bad. You go get in trouble. Don't do it. Dude, I love the silhouettes of these. There's something about sleeping bags or rolled up like cloth that does something good to me. It actually looks more like a Ranger and not just like a fucking Quarreler. Anyways, time to wait for the bits, but I like it. Looks really good. Yeah. It looks, well, again, it'll look better when I actually get the right pieces in. As a placeholder, it's fine, just because I get the idea of what it would look like with the right stuff. It'll look way better. So, like, I'm just going to try and clean this up a little bit. Try and keep the shape. Because I've got other backpacks, obviously, but I kind of want to make different variations of them. So, like, the sleeping bag would be down there instead of up here. Fine, you know, maybe they dress themselves differently. It's normal. Like it. Kind of need to, maybe build out the sides here with a bit of putty so it looks like things are in the sack instead of up here. Doesn't really make sense. Things go to the bottom, they don't sit up top. But that is completely doable. That's super easy. As a baseline work from it piece, it's good. This one I think is too far gone. Not really, I just have to build it out again, I guess. Can still use it. A long time ago, I have one unmade. I don't think it was too bad. Trying to think of what parts were weird about it. Maybe the axe portion, the throwing bits, maybe those. I don't think it was too bad, though. Because I will be building another one soon, so I guess I'm going to get a redo on that one, but I don't think it'll be bad to build. All metal minis are these days is just patience. The metal dwarven kits weren't the worst thing. It's usually things that are kind of like too heavy and spindly sometimes that they just don't hold in place. Should be okay though. I don't think there's actually a Dwarven kit right now that's incredibly annoying to build. Outside of maybe the Iron Drakes. Fuck those. No, the Goblin Hero was only made in metal. Now, okay, so... I can go through the article. So a lot of the older Dwarven stuff was made into Finecast, which is not a good thing. I believe they're going to try and sell you... Yeah. Well, the latest edition of the cannon and the organ gun was made in plastic. All previous editions were always made in metal. They never made Finecast cannons. Or resin cannons, I should say, as well. So... everything is plastic. Everything is resin. Surprised this is plastic. Resin. I mean, you're looking at plastic, metal, resin, metal, metal. Now, these guys. So, I am really hoping they do them in resin. Personally. They did the fucking Marauder Giant in resin. They did the Orc Wyvern in resin. I don't think you're going to get them in resin. Reason being is resin is just more convertible, and you can just do stuff with it. It's easier to clean. It's not very fun to work with, but, like, at least you could do something with it. This came out as metal. It was then produced in Finecast. It ended its life in Finecast. Same thing with this. The Flame Cannon was never produced in resin. It was always metal. And the Goblin Hewer, same thing, was always metal. It never got produced in resin. The Anvil came out in metal and was produced in resin. The Bugman's Cart was always just metal. So, this may be the first time in a long time that you will get these in metal. It doesn't tell you. It would just be cool to get them in resin. Oh, they look great. No, they look really good. I don't like the Flame Cannon. Personally, the Flame Cannon's kind of like, I believe, the 5th edition, 5th, 6th, something like that. It just looks bizarre. Like, this doesn't look dwarvish. And you might say, well, yes, it does. Okay, then why do we have a Flame Cannon with wooden fucking wheels? That was just such a weird choice, you know, compared to, like, what you have now with everything being made of, like, steel. It's a little odd. The old aesthetic for dwarves, I guess in a way it is cool to see kind of, you know, if you want to look at it from a lore standpoint, where old things that were made, you know, dwarves at one point did favor wood. I think it was called Wootroth? It was this big sturdy tree that would kind of grow on the sides of mountains, and dwarves would harvest it, and they'd turn it into different things. So that's exactly what this is. Wootroth, or Wootroth. And, you know, over time, dwarves learn, they adapt, they change things very slowly. And, you know, now we don't need wooden shit, right? Like, our shields may still be somewhat wood because, hey, it's an heirloom. Haft of an axe might be wood because it's still an heirloom. But I'm pretty sure most of what's produced today, lore-wise, wouldn't be so much this. They've just moved on past it. Karak Heraldry. Returning metals. Okay, have fun. Have fun with a metal bolt thrower and a metal grudge thrower. I wish it was resin. but not like fine cast. I wish it was Forge World resin. Like, they're good. Or the newest GW resin, I should say. If this was resin, you'd be able to chop it up and convert it and make it look really good. Not that it already doesn't look good, but like, we're talking about the crew, you know, minor details you could swap out. Yeah, this bitch, this one's awful. The Grudge Thrower is very bizarre. Anyways. I still have the metal version of them, and I have the Finecast version of all of them, and I don't like either. The notches in the Grudge Thrower sometimes were just really weird. Like, the castings of them were bad. From my experience. All of the notch work, like the filigree and whatnot, whatever you want to call it. The knot work. Just had problems in the past. But, you know, it's not hard. Well, metal, it's not that hard to work with. It's just more of a, you gotta be a bit more abrasive, right? You gotta put a little bit more, power into it. Like, you can still use a hobby blade and sandpaper. When I do it, I use 1000 grit sandpaper, a blade, metal files sometimes, just to, like, wind out a few thicker pieces before I use, like, sandpaper and whatnot. You could probably go down to, like, 800 grit sandpaper. And anywhere around 1000 is good. Anything above 1000 is a little bit too smooth. You won't feel anything. Won't smooth out shit. Some people use multiple grits, and they go down to, like, God knows what. Fucking 10,000 to make it, like, mirror smooth. Absolutely reflective, but that is so pointless. But again, your hobby, do what you want. I think this one is okay for now to leave. Until I can get more bits in to, like, actually properly gauge what things look like. It looks good to me once this goes on. Once this goes on, it's, like, incredible. This alone just kind of looks like shit, in my opinion. Looks too thin. You definitely need the, sleeping bag. Or cloak, whatever it may be. Just wondering if I can throw maybe some other stuff. Something about the side, maybe like green stuff. Just to bulk it out a little bit. Make it look like it's weighty. Looks good. Is there any way to do bolts? I really need to try and incorporate these like little quivers in because it kind of makes sense too. What do I recommend? I mean, I've read Dwarf stuff. Like, I would say if you're trying to get into fantasy, the best place to start is Gotrek and Felix. Gotrek and Felix is fun. It encapsulates a lot of different, like, fantasy elements. It's not just focused on one thing. They do kind of travel the world and see different things, and you can kind of get a gist of how things are. If you like dwarves, that's a bonus. That's a big bonus, because there's a lot of fucking dwarves in that series. And it can just kind of be a good entry into Warhammer Fantasy. That's what I would suggest. Off the top of my head, probably the easiest thing to get into. Otherwise, if you're interested in, like, very, like, race-specific books, like different factions and whatnot, you know, you like the elves or the dwarves or the empire, whatever it may be. Or if you're into 40k, I can't help you, because I don't know any 40k stuff. Bookmarks. Well, again, I don't know what you're into, man. You just talking about Warhammer in general? Or like fantasy or 40k or... There's a bunch. There's a lot of content. There is so many Warhammer books. Lots of short stories. There's a bunch of shit to go through. But again, it's very overwhelming if you want to kind of, like, have everything. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Bunch of different stuff, so nothing. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Witch Hunter by Matthias Thulman. There's a few, I mean, the thing about Gotrek and Felix, though, is there's so many books. So if you did read it, you'd probably want to read them all. And there's, like, 17 books. Like 14 books or something. 17 books. It's a good entry point, though. Again, you could have the one-offs, yeah. There's a lot of novels that just kind of go nowhere. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe, you know what? If you're reading a lot of stuff, maybe Gotrek and Felix might not be your thing. Because, again, there's so many of them. So, you know, Witch Hunter, I haven't read that one, like you just said, but you've got smaller books. There's dwarven novels, you know? Yeah, exactly. That could be amazing. I haven't read it, so I don't know, but it's self-contained books that don't have baggage are really good to get into. Because, again, there's, like, a couple of dwarven novels like that. A quick read would be Grudge Bearer. And then also, like, there's, I think, 3 more. But Grudge Bearer is, like, the easiest one to read of all of them. It's the shortest. Look into them. There's a bunch. Maybe something will excite you. Because, yeah, when it comes to series of books, different, you know, shows, well, books again, you're kind of compelled to finish them sometimes. Not that, oh my god, I'm forced to do it because I read one of them, but, like, if you like it, there's so many more. How do you feel about elves? I don't like them in particular. Or particularly, like, you know, dark elves, incredibly deplorable, horrible, worthless beings. The wood elves don't really care. They don't do anything. High elves, like, I mean, when compared to dark elves, tolerable, but still I don't really like them. The worst of the elves easily are the dark elves. Those are fucking horrible creatures. The most disgusting, worthless, oxygen-thieving, terrible beings. They are bad individuals. Very bad. Okay. Let us clean this. Yes. Of course. Dark elves are misunderstood. Well, I would say, yeah, probably. Yeah. Like, if you know the Dark Elves in 40k, or the Dark Eldar, the Druchii. Are they called Druchii? I think that's, like, fantasy stuff. Okay, after this backpack, we're gonna go play League. What are the Dark Eldar? The Drukhari, that's what they are. There's no new Burlock model. You can show me it, and I'll tell you it's not there. Oh, the camera's fucked up, sorry. Show me it, and I'll tell you if it's it. The Drukhari? No, we don't like Dark Eldar. Go down, bro. I mean, why is that a question? Probably, but it's a horrible question. Yeah. Ba, 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 ba. Discord. Which Discord? Oh, stream related? Oh, no. See, I was looking at that and I was just laughing. I'm like, you know what? That's exactly what Grim Burlockson's gonna look like, or Burlock Damonson. It's just the engineer character. It's just a generic, like, metal engineer. That's not a new sculpt. I genuinely think they're not giving you Thorgrim and they're not giving you Burlock Damonson. Just a thought. I think the Shield Bearer Dwarf may be upgradable into Thorgrim, and Burlock Damonson is just going to be like a generic sculpt. Because it shows them all standing together, if you think about it. Like, why would there be an engineer there with Thorgrim? Or not Thorgrim, with Ungrim? Again, if the dwarves were to get more minis, that's a lot of minis. That's just one of the alternate sculpts for the engineers. They might tote him. Yeah, we'll see. Well, who said we'll see tomorrow? Oh, there's a dwarf. Is that what they said at the end of the article? I never read the end. I read all the way till the end, and I'm like, eh. They said new... Wait, really? We'll be examining some of the new and classic models. Ooh! Ooh! I didn't even read that. I'm such a loser. I should have read that. That excites me. You're right. That's cool. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just jumping the gun, you know? I don't want to be a doomsayer or anything, but, like... Cool. I want to see... You know what I'm interested in? The number one thing I want is a plastic BSB. I really, really, really want a plastic BSB. You need BSBs in your army, period. I hope this comes with a BSB. Battle Standard Bearer. It's like your army's flag. It's like if anyone's rallying under a banner, it's the BSB. Yeah. It's your big, grand army banner. So, like, these banners and units are standards. They're part of the command squad. They give you bonuses. But, like, the BSB gives you a grand bonus, basically. There's both. The only one that was ever made in plastic was the unreleased one. Otherwise, you get them in metal and you get them in resin. You know what? I don't think there will be a BSB because the Forge World resin kit is coming back, and that's kind of the BSB. I think that's what it is. Burlock and Thorgrim. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean, everything here is already been released at one point, except this guy. That's like the Thane on foot or the King on foot. I genuinely wonder, again, if they're going to give you an alternate head sculpt to just use Thorgrim. I really wouldn't be surprised. Or they give you an alternate head sculpt to use Thorgrim, you know? Maybe. Again, maybe not. Who knows? Bro, where's Craggy? Fuck. Interesting. Where is ye good old Craggy? There's a Dwarven FAQ. There's an Old World rulebook FAQ for dwarves. Not very big, though. Or for everything, it's just an FAQ in general. Cool. Cool. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, if there was a race in the old world to get the biggest release, it would probably be the dwarves. I think CA knows what's popular and what isn't, and I think dwarves are one of the most popular things. Not to mention, everyone who likes them is in a cult. Like, you don't just like dwarves, you kind of love them, you know? It's not that you want to be one, but liking dwarves is kind of more than, like, liking the Empire. Well, the Black Orc is a nobody. The Shaman, I think, was named, and they even had a, The thing is, though, you gotta realize, in the books, in Warhammer Fantasy, they would always make characters without models. They did that in the Orc and Goblin journal. They made a goblin character on a chariot, and he's without a mini. Maybe he'll get one. Warhammer Fantasy was more into kind of like creating your own shit. It's not that 40k wasn't, but I mean, I guess even did 40k do that as well? They gave you characters without minis. I think they did. I guess that was just typical Games Workshop, kind of like make your own ideas and put them into, you know, bring them into reality. I think they did do that. Pretty sure. Yeah, maybe there will be a new model, though, for Grim Burlockson, or Burlock Dammonson. Maybe. Or again, you're just gonna get Bean Boozled, and you're gonna get the generic, You know what? They did show new artwork of him, and there is nothing that looks like that in the current Games Workshop range. Yeah, he looks a little, crazy. Fucking eyes, brother. Do I really? Well, here's to tomorrow, though, with a new article on new minis. I will be immediately jumping on stream and jizzing. Not on stream, because it's fucking bizarre. And I'll get banned. But if we do get new Dwarven minis tomorrow, that's cool. I'm gonna see them. Gonna talk about them. Gonna purchase them. Of course, when they come out in Wave 2. And if they don't come out in Wave 2, which doesn't make any sense, but I guess we'll see. We just want more minis. I'll be at a job interview tomorrow. Well, hey, they're still going to be there. The VOD's going to be left up. Okay, after we're, you know what? No, it's about 11 o'clock right now. I think I'm just going to go do League, and then I'll scrape this later, because, you know, we have a lot to do still. Alright, I'm done here for today. I will be on either super late tonight on this channel or tomorrow with the reveals, even more reveals. And with that being said, everyone take care. Have a good night, stay safe, or good morning. And, I will be on the League channel. Airbrushing, I've got an airbrush, it's good. Airbrushing is, like, extremely useful for Warhammer. Alright, folks, I'm out, take care.